Hey Justin, text me if you can hear us.
Hey everyone, how you doing? This is Jen Bono from the Restaurant and Hospitality Association. I just wanted to say thank you for tuning in to our first webinar with Alice. And I have Ian with me here from Alice. If you want to introduce yourself.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ian Lazarus. I'm a partnership manager at Alice, and I work with hospitality associations around the country to support the association, their members, and their employees. So excited to be here today.
Great. So yeah, today's webinar is going to be about how you can take advantage of the new commuter ordinance that's going into effect March 1st of 2020 this year. So first, we're going to explain what the ordinance is and what owners or your HR department needs to know in order to be in compliance. Then we'll talk about how you can take advantage of the new law by partnering with our employee benefits vendor member, Alice. And of course, we'd love to hear your feedback by opening the discussion up to all you guys to hear what you guys think. So let's begin.
So what is the Commuter Benefit Ordinance? Starting March 1st of 2020 this year, so next week, businesses with 20 or more employees will be required to offer their employees the opportunity to make a monthly pre-tax payroll deduction for transit or van pool expenses. The state is doing this to encourage mass transit use over single occupancy vehicles to reduce traffic congestion and carbon emission. The enforcement will begin March 1st, so next week, by the New Jersey Commissioner of Labor and Workplace Development. And the benefits to employees is they can save up to 40% on their commuting costs, and the employers are able to lower their payroll taxes with the payroll deduction that they're providing to employees. So what commuting types are eligible? Commuter train, bus, light rail, and streetcar and van pool. An employee is able to deduct up to $270 per month for these expenses. And under the federal IRS rules, you are also able to offer your employees a parking payroll deduction, which is another $270 per month for that employee.
Which is a really cool point, because a lot of our employees in New Jersey aren't necessarily commuting to work by light rail every day, but there are a lot of restaurants that are in high traffic areas that unfortunately don't have free parking for employees. So areas like New Brunswick or Asbury, Cranford, Ridgewood, or Somerville, all of these areas are very restaurant saturated, and they have meters or parking garages lining the streets. So if you're a restaurant and you have a location in any of these areas or similar towns, you would be a perfect candidate for this partnership with Alice.
Yeah, and as Jen mentioned, your employees would be able to save pre-tax on those expenses, so anywhere from 20 to 40%. And anytime they incur an expense, you as a business operator will save on payroll taxes for those expenses. So what do business owners and HR folks need to know? So the benefit must be offered to all employees who work more than 10 hours per week, including seasonal workers. There are two ways that people can comply. You can give your employees the ability to make a pre-tax deduction, or you can subsidize all or part of the purchase price of the transit pass, and that would be working with the New Jersey Transit Bulk Sales Department. There's if you fail to comply, there's a fine of $100 to $250 per violation, and subsequent violations incurs another penalty. If you already have a commuter benefits program in place with a subsidy, you can combine it with a pre-tax deduction, working with a provider like Alice, which will save your employees and your business even more money.
Awesome. So now we're just going to take a quick 2-poll question. You'll see a little response box that'll pop up, so you can just answer, select your choice from the list, and just hit submit. We'll just give everyone a few seconds for people to respond.
Give it a few more minutes. We're almost there. All right, great. So it looks like a lot of people are starting to understand what the ordinance is. There still are a few not sures. Some people currently have a plan in place, but majority of folks do not, which is great. So, as I mentioned before, there are two ways operators can comply or manage the platform. It's either with pre-tax deductions or subsidizing. Now, managing the program, you can either manage it in-house manually, which, as you can see below, you would need to implement the plan, prepare the enrollment materials, contact your payroll company about collecting these pre-tax deductions. You would then have to keep the records of the documentation to be in compliance, and show that employees either accepted or denied this offering. Or you can work with a pre-tax benefit provider similar to us. There are a lot of TPAs around the country, but no one is focused on providing these benefits to the hospitality industry. Traditional providers use technology, that's old, and you preload a separate debit card. They charge a per employee per month fee, which brings a lot of risk to operators in the hospitality space, where you're charged up front without knowing if people will use it. At Alice, we're using technology where it is in 2020. We automate this whole process. We connect to people's personal debit or credit cards. We connect to payroll, and we just split the employer's savings. So it's completely performance based. Now you're able to offer a plan at absolutely no risk to you, and automating that process without having for you to have to do any of the administration.
Yeah, and that's a great point, because if you decide to automate with Alice, the best part about it is that it links right to your payroll company with no extra work for you. So I know we have a lot of members participating today. So if you are a member using a vendor member ADP, or our exclusively endorsed vendor member Heartland for payroll, just know that Alice syncs flawlessly with both of these companies. And please feel free to reach out to us at NJRHA or your payroll rep so we can help you set it up on the back end.
So what are the employer advantages? So everything an employee deducts, the business saves in FICA taxes. So if an employee is deducting $100, your business will save $8. And it'll make more sense as I go to the next slide to actually show you how the math looks. Pre-tax benefits are always almost cost neutral or cost saving for the business. The more employees participate, the more your business saves.
And while Alice offers more beyond the advantages of this commuter law, the new commuter law, this is one of the big reasons we partnered with them. At NJRHA, we like to partner with vendors who share our mission to support, educate, and advocate for our members in our industry. So we both understand how tiny the restaurateurs' margins are. So finding the right people and ways to expand those margins for you is it's a high priority for us. And with Alice, you can save money through pre-tax spending, but the best part is that there's no administration or maintenance to you as the owner. And also there's no upfront costs. So on the next slide, Ian is going to show you an example of how it all works in real life.
So here is that example that we were alluding to on the previous slide. So Jane is single, has no children, rents an apartment, and makes $35,000 per year, whether salaried or through hourly wages. You'll see here on the left side that without Alice and without any pre-tax deductions, their taxable wages are still $35,000. She's paying $6,877 in taxes. Now with Alice, we've reduced the taxable wages by almost $1,200, which has reduced her taxes from $6,877 to $6,644. And now with Alice, you'll see here we add back a post-tax addition since the employee is paying for that money out of pocket. And this is their increase in their take-home pay. So Jane, now by you as an employer offering these pre-tax benefits, has increased her take-home pay by $234. You as a business are only paying taxes on this amount right here. So since Jane's taxable wages have reduced by almost $1,200, you have reduced your payroll tax expense. So we'll open it up for any questions. One of the questions was, is there an integration needed with payroll? Yes, we connect with the majority of the payroll providers. We do work with Paychecks. Any of the, as Jen mentioned before, we work with Heartland, ADP, any payroll provider that has a cloud-based solution, online offering, we work with. Another question, does Alice cost anything up front? How do you charge for the service? How much does Alice cost an employer? Does your point of sale system need to be integrated with the clocking in and out? So Alice does not cost anything to the employer. We split the savings with the employers, so you're not paying anything up front. So not having anything in place, you're currently paying all these FICA taxes. So working with Alice or another TPA, we will help you capture newfound money. And so in that example that I showed with Jane, it only costs when both you and your employees are saving. Joel, does that answer your question? Great. Your second question, Joel. So payroll is a source of truth for us. So we want to remove all the administration away from the operator. So in the hospitality space, people naturally come and go. It's just naturally doing business in the space. And so using payroll as a source of truth takes away that administration for you. So when someone joins a company, the Alice email will go out, they'll know to enroll, everything is done with Alice via technology, via email, via text messages. We're trying to get rid of, the paper forms. And in fact, our company motto is no forms, no math, no acronyms. We built this product for the hospitality space. We want to help all your employees understand it. We want to be the pre-tax spending experts, so you and your employees don't have to be. Seems like there's another question about how much Alice costs. So the way Alice works is we just split the FICA savings for the employer. The money that we help capture, we share in those savings with you. So in this example here, when an employee deducted $100, to say pre-tax on commuting or buying prescriptions or going to the doctor or their childcare, the business saves on FICA taxes, which is about 7.65%, and that happens at payroll. So, you're saving that 7.65%, and then we split those savings with you after the fact. So importantly, your employees save each pay period, and then after payroll is run, there's an invoice for how much the business has saved. So it's only coming from savings. So if y'all are familiar with WOTC, the Work Opportunity Tax Credit Program, we only take a portion whenever both you and your employees are saving. And yes, it's a 50-50 split. Can you work with other employees that aren't restaurants? Of course, absolutely. Our goal is to work with businesses of all sizes. At Alice, we believe every employee should have access to these pre-tax benefits. If you look at majority of small businesses and, just putting hospitality aside, a lot of them haven't been able to offer these plans historically because there's an upfront cost associated with it and there's administration associated with it. So we're trying to reduce the barrier to offering on the employer side. A question is, how would you make sure my employees actually enroll? So everything is done via email and text messages. So we want to take all the enrollment away from the operator. One thing that we joke about is no more having donuts or coffee in a boardroom or in the dining room to tell people to enroll in health benefits. So we will give you a flyer for you to post on a bulletin board. But the rest of that is emails will go out. They'll get an email day one, 7 days later, they'll get another email. With 3 days left to enroll, they'll get another email. Importantly, people can enroll in commuter benefits at any time, but the goal is to take that administration away from the operators or the HR team. Yeah, and that goes into the next question. What are the required employer postings to communicate this? And so working with Alice, you are in compliance with the ordinance. You will have your summary plan documentation. You'll have your cafeteria plan documentation. We'll give you a flyer for you to post it on a bulletin board. But again, once you enroll with Alice and emails start going out to employees, everything's done via text message and email. And so doing that, you're in compliance, and also simplifying the process for employees to enroll, and we handle all the communication. Does Alice work across state lines? Yes, we actually work with employers in all 50 states and have employees in all 50 states. We have more than 5,000 employers that we work with. You know, some names include Sweet Green, Blue Bottle, Think Food Group, Chopped, Gregory's Coffee. You know, this is something new to the hospitality industry, and we've you know, obviously the commuter benefits is in New Jersey. It actually has been enacted in Seattle, San Francisco, DC, and New York. New Jersey is the first state to do it. But yes, we do support companies in all states. So Joel asked, do you have access to the employer's checking account? How do you get paid for them? So the way employers connect their checking account, their debit or credit card, there is an invoice for them, and it happens after payroll. So since payroll is a source of truth, we know how much employees and employers save. And so everything runs through payroll. So that check that employee has an increased paycheck, that employer saved in FICA taxes when payroll was run. And then 3 days after the fact, there's an invoice for the split in savings. This is a great question. So employers have other pre-tax benefits like employee benefits, dental and vision. Do we interact with those benefits also, or just commuter? So we don't provide major health or medical, but actually Alice is a full package pre-tax benefit program. So signing up with Alice, you get commuter benefits, you get a health savings account, you get a flexible spending account, a dependent care flexible spending account, and a limited purpose FSA. So these are, you know, it's not providing dental insurance, but it's giving the ability for employees to use pre-tax benefits to cover out-of-pocket costs for dental, medical, and dependent care expenses. And so if you look at, you know, a lot of operators, not just in the hospitality space, again, traditionally there have been a per employee per month fee charge to offer a limited purpose FSA, another charge to offer an HSA, another charge to offer a dependent care FSA. And so since we've packaged it all together and made it the performance-based pricing, now an employer is able to offer all these plans to every employee. We'll figure out what insurance there are during our enrollment process and can help them save on every pre-tax eligible expenses, which there are 10 that have been defined by the IRS. Is that helpful, Joel? My pleasure. Yes, Florence, to answer your question, this is also required in New York City. This was actually implemented, I want to say 2 or 3 years ago. Seattle just enacted this, so I was doing a similar exercise with the Washington Hospitality Association. You know, San Francisco, DC. You know, it's something that, you know, we think will happen in a lot of states, and we want to be able to work with the associations to, you know, do it in a way that is not a burden to the employers, is not a burden to the employees. It doesn't cost them anything extra. We just want to help both association members, the employers, and the employees save money. Any more questions? All right. Well, Jen, I think that about sums it up.
Yeah, I guess so. Thanks everyone who participated. We appreciate it. And if you have any other questions, please feel free, like I said, to reach out to me at any time or any of your payroll reps if you wanted to get it set up.
Yeah, and you know, I'll follow up with people that express interest, and we can set up a time to discuss later today if people want to, tomorrow, Friday, or next week, and you know, look forward to, you know, supporting you and your employees.
Awesome. Well, thanks everyone. Have a great day.
Thanks, everyone.